Welcome to another How to Draw tutorial. Today we're going to be drawing Toothless from the How to Train a Dragon movie. So we're going to start off using a mechanical pencil again. We don't want to commit right away, so I want to really show you guys how to build the shape and the form language. So Toothless, he has a really big head. So we're going to start off by drawing an elliptical shape like this. So his head actually, it's kind of a circle, but it's a little bit of a distorted circle. So he's a little bit taller and fuller this way, and then it's flatter down here. And he has like a little nose right about here. And he has two big eyes. Now the eyes, what we want to do is we want to kind of make sure we have this shape, the right shape here. So what we want to do is his eyes come almost halfway, a little bit. So if this is the center of this circle, this circular shape, we're going to come up just a little bit above that. So, and he has almost a teardrop shape over to this side, like this, and like that. And it kind of points at the nose, like that. So see how it's pointing right to the nose here? And this one here, it's pretty round, like that. And we want to do symmetrical, so if we draw a center line here for the body, so everything's going to be mirrored and similar on the other side. So we're going to have this eyeball kind of coming in this direction, like that, and this round shape like this. There we go. And now he has an eyeball inside of this, his pupil, and it's a pretty big one. So we're gonna do a shape like this. He's gonna have a highlight here, and a second highlight here, and then follow that shape there. Another one like that. And he's gonna have, so these ones, these highlights are not symmetrical because you're reflecting something from this angle here. So those will be the same on both eyes. They're not mirrored. Up the center, he has a few kind of like bony shapes here, 4 of them, like that. And then he has an ear. So if you come up from his eyeball right about here, he's gonna have like an ear that kind of goes up this, like that, and we'll do the same on this side. So if you measure that out here, measure this right here, like that, you can have a shape like this, like so. And again, don't worry about your lines being a little scratchy and messy. You'll kind of pick the nicest lines out afterwards. It's okay to make these little mistakes like that. We're just roughing this in right now. There we go. So now he has a couple little whisker type ear shapes over here. So one's going to be almost like it's just above where his nose is. So if you draw a line out this way, it's going to be higher than his nose. So he's going to have one shape like this over here, like that, and then he's going to have another one that kind of points upwards in this direction. And you want to leave a little bit of space between the two ears, like that. Like that. Okay, so let's do the same on this side. We'll come over here like that. And we'll mark out where this guy is. Over here. Like that. And if you want to erase some stuff, if it's bothering you, sometimes a lot of lines start to bother me, feel free. Just brush that off. Remember, if you use any sort of graphite pencil, you have to be careful with smudging. So they make like these little brooms that kind of sweep away, your eraser shavings. So like that. And then this one doesn't really point down, but it's not as big and he's a little bit smaller. Like that. There you go. So we got a few more round shapes over here on his ear. And then we'll finish off some over here, some little details. Okay, now let's get his horns in. So if you go from the center off a little bit, it's not going to be as high as his ear. It's going to be a little bit shorter. And then this one kind of points like this. Another one points like that. There we go. Cool. All right, so now let's get the rest of his body. We got the head, now we want to do the body. So if you take the proportion of his head and almost the same amount for the body, and we'll kind of create like almost like a ground line here. So that's going to be where the bottom of his body is. So we'll create like almost like a triangular shape. So we'll go from almost the center of his eye over here, somewhere about here. And if you draw kind of like a triangular shape to the edge of his head over there, kind of like that. And the same over here. So we're gonna go like this. So that's gonna be kind of the spatial sense of his body. So he has two front paws, front legs. And what we're gonna do with that is we're gonna come off of his head and kind of have a kind of a soft curve like this. His shoulder's gonna kind of come out, and then it's gonna come like this. And right where the center is, there's gonna be a little bit of a space, some room for those two paws to kind of sit. So this one's gonna end about here, like that, and go about halfway up, maybe right around here, and this one's gonna be rounded like this. That. If you need to adjust, feel free. And then you're going to get his other leg that kind of sits over here. His back leg is there. He's going to have like three kind of like toe shapes like that. And then over on this side, we're going to do three shapes like this. So now over here, we'll do the same thing. So we'll curve like this and come down here like that. And just doing the symmetrical deal. And here you'll have another shape for his chest. And then his body continues this way, and then over here his other leg kind of comes down, and we'll finish it off like that. And then we'll do 1, 2, 3 toes, and then 1, 2, 3 like that. All right, now let's get his wings going. So his wing, so his shoulder's gonna be like this. All right, so from where his shoulder is, his wing's gonna start and it's gonna come out, but we don't want to extend too far beyond this point here. So if we draw a line just a little bit off of that, if we draw just like a line like this, that's going to be kind of like the boundary for how far out his wing expands. So we're going to draw from his shoulder, we're going to come up like this, almost similar to the curve of his head here. Curve like this. And then this part here will come down almost right about here. So if you draw a line like that, that's going to be the corner of his wing. So his wing will come like that, just like that. Now we'll do a little bit of a thicker shape like this, like that. And then he's going to have 3, like 1, 2, 3, like this. Just like that. And again, go ahead and erase some stuff if you want. And then from the center of his wing here, we'll kind of create some of those ribs like that. And then we'll do the same on this side. So we'll start here. We'll draw a boundary line over here, like that. This will be the end here, and then right about here, almost like midway. So we'll start with the shoulder here. We'll kind of come up like that. This will curve, and we'll create this other wing like that. And there's the top, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like that. And then these guys will come up right there. There you go. So how does yours look? Your roughed in shapes. It looks similar to what I have here. So Toothless, we sketched him up using a pencil. Now if you want, you can go ahead and erase some areas. Now, Toothless is going to be rendered or colored using pretty much like dark colors, dark grays and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a Sharpie to start this off and really get all of the base forms outlined using my Sharpie first. So grab a Sharpie, and I'm just going to start at the top, kind of like the right, and work my way to the left since I'm right-handed. If you're left-handed, you can start on the right side and work your way left. Depends on how you like to draw, but because we're symmetrical, if you're a lefty, just follow along, doing the opposite of what I'm doing here. That. And I'm leaving spaces where these extra shapes go. So I'm not continuing the lines all the way across, kind of leaving spaces. So I'm just going to start with the head first, kind of get that shape in place. And remember, you don't have to use exactly the lines that you've already created. You can, if you want to adjust those, that's perfectly normal. I'm just going to fill this in, because I know that's going to be solid like that. And then I draw these like bony shapes here. And I draw the ones in the ear. And then I'm going to finish up with the other side. And for this video, I'm keeping the paper stationary, like in one spot. But if you want to go ahead and move the paper and tilt it to help with your hand, because your hand arcs and curves in one direction. If you're just a beginner kind of starting out, it'll help if you actually turn the page and do your shapes in this natural curve as opposed to trying to do this opposite. So, you know, if you do this for many years, like I do, you'll get used to creating curves in opposing directions, but for beginners it's a little bit trickier, so I recommend, you know, just turning the page and making it as comfortable for you as possible. There's no right or wrong way to do things here. We just want to get you guys drawing stuff that you like and have fun doing. All right, go and draw the body now. So as you can see, like, he's starting to come to life now. There's three, it's kind of like four shapes over here. On his feet, I'm gonna draw those in. His toes, and then we'll get his wings pulled in. Just like that, and then we'll get this wing in. That. There you go. Got a couple of these guys here we forgot. All right, so now we just drew in Toothless. We filled, kind of concealed the pencil lines. You know, if some of these are bothering you, you can kind of go in there and erase some stuff. If you have like a kneaded eraser or anything, you know, you don't have to use like the ends like this. You can go in there and kind of erase. So now I'm going to wrap this up with some marker to give him some color. So I'm going to start off with the eye, and Toothless has a little bit of yellow at the top of his eye here. So again, it's really important that you try not to touch the black lines, and it all depends on like what kind of paper you're using. Marker paper is designed to allow you to like blend colors together. So you can kind of see here I touched some of the black area, so that started to pull some of the black into the yellow. So some people don't like that. But I'm just gonna test this color here. So I'm gonna use a little bit of gray kind of where his toes are. And I'm not worried about, you know, going over the black, because the areas that I'm going to kind of go into are going to be darker anyways, so not really worried about that right now. You can see I'm intentionally trying to grab a little bit of the black over there, and we'll kind of hit his ear, a little bit over here, a little bit over there, just to get some like highlights like that. There you go. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my gray, and where I made these highlights, I kind of go just offset from those. And then I'm just going to go right over everything else. Also, just be careful, like when you put your palm down on the page, that you don't rub certain areas, and always, it depends on the type of paper you're using. I'm gonna go back to that. If you have paper that kind of keeps the ink wet, you could end up creating a little bit of a light spot, or use like smudging in areas that you don't really want to smudge. So just be careful. You can kind of see, again, marker paper, you notice how like these are starting to like blend away. So I'm kind of taking the gray and mixing it with the black. So I'll go in there afterwards and reapply the black Sharpie to kind of reestablish that dark line there. So hopefully everybody's drawings are looking awesome. And don't worry if your guy is a little darker or lighter. It all depends on like what gray you have and which one you feel comfortable using. If you start with a lighter gray, you can always go in and add a darker one right over top of it. So that's what's good about using lighter and building up your colors on top of each other. You don't have to worry about being a little too dark too early on. So all right, so do his wing right here. We'll do this one. And then do his body. And notice how I'm trying to follow the shapes. So if you can stroke in the path of the shape of the body parts, it'll look a little bit more realistic, especially with like if you have darker areas for shading. You can color this way, but I always find going in the direction of the shape really creates more of a natural, believable rendering. My Toothless is a little bit on the lighter color, on the lighter side, but that is okay. And I'm running out of ink in my marker, but that is also okay. We will work with what we have, what we're given. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find another darker marker and create like a shadow line over here. So let me see if I can reach in and get, let me see, think over here. So I'm going to create like, there we go, it's like some shadows on some of his parts here, like that. And we're going to do a shadow on his ear, shadow down below here. This will give us a little bit of more three-dimensionality. So if you add just a little bit of a darker, if you have a bunch of different grays and you have one that's just a little bit darker, that'll be perfect. So his head sticks out from his body, right? His head's big and then his body's kind of tucked under. So that's why we're going to create this like shadow area just under the head, so that that'll look like his head is sticking out from his body and creating a shadow below, like that. And then right in here, I'm going to add a shadow on this side, this, and we'll do a shadow for his belly here, which starts to tuck under. So as you can see, just adding a couple extra darknesses and values of color, you can start to create some visual depth. Go, almost done. So I hope everybody's looks similar. And you had fun, as I did, drawing Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And there you go. So again, you can go back in there and, you know, darken up some spots. You can go back with your Sharpie and just re-emphasize certain lines that kind of got away and ended up being like blended like that. So go in and hit those again, really kind of pop those off the page. And that's about it. So I'm just gonna finish up this. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe. I always like having more subscribers, and you'll get access and see all the new videos that I do in the future. I'm going to keep doing these really cool ones. If you guys have any suggestions, send me an email at mark@renderdemo.com, and I'll try to draw some of the stuff that you like, that's your favorite. So have fun, keep drawing, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.